Welcome to a very bright, very cold Monday ride. We are starting in Karlsfeld and heading towards Feldmochinger See. It's the kind of crisp morning that wakes up your senses the moment you step out the door. It's 0 degrees Celsius, the sun is blazing, and it's one of those days where you simply have to be outside. I'm taking it really easy through these Karlsfeld back streets. In these temperatures, you can't trust the roads. Any patch that looks wet is probably black ice. I'm leaning the bike as little as possible in the corners, because losing the front end is the last thing I need today. Just navigating out of Karlsfeld now. The town is quiet, but as soon as we hit the farm tracks, the scenery will open up. The transition from the paved streets to the gravel paths feels like leaving the real world behind for a bit.
Viel Spaß.
You can finally see the horizon stretching out ahead, unobstructed by buildings. There is something very peaceful about the landscape right now. The air is so sharp and fresh today. It's a beautiful contrast with the bright white sun. Every breath feels incredibly clean, though it definitely stings the lungs a little in this temperature. As we hit the farmlands, you can see the frost still lingering to the edges of the path. Even though it's freezing, the grass is still holding on to that deep green color. Even 30 minutes of this sun changes your entire mood for the rest of the day. It's amazing how that low winter sun can feel so intense even when the air is at freezing point. These farm tracks are the connector between the two towns. The path is a bit tricky today because of the frozen sections. You have to pick your line carefully to avoid the ice.
This is not good. This is definitely not good.
The mud from last week has turned into rock-hard ruts that really test your focus. One wrong move on a slick patch and this ride becomes a lot more eventful than planned.
I absolutely don't want to brake here.
It's very quiet out here today. Just the sound of the tires and the wind.
I should try and take a different route when I go back home. Oh shit. Alright, I'll slip.
I love this stretch of the route. With all the leaves gone, the landscape feels so open.
This part looks much better.
The skeletal trees give the whole area a completely different architectural feel compared to the lush green tunnels of July. You can see all the bird nests high up in the branches now, things you'd never notice in the summer. It feels like nature is just resting and waiting. It's a side of the trail that most people miss by staying indoors during the winter months. Rolling through Feldmoching now. The transition from the open fields back into the little town streets is always nice.
Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? Yes, I should do it. Okay, back on the road. Was waren wir denn? Feldmochinger See. Genau.
My hands are definitely starting to feel the cold, but when the sun is hitting your face like this, you barely care. This is the ultimate vitamin D recharge. Taking a moment to ease off the pedals and hydrate. It's a good excuse to stop fighting the wind and just soak in the view for a few seconds. Even the moving water in the ditch couldn't beat the temperature last night. Seeing it frozen solid like that really puts into perspective why my toes are starting to go numb.
Okay. So, here.
I finally reached Feldmochinger See. The water is completely still today and looks like glass. The reflection of the sky on the surface is almost perfect, only broken by a few ducks near the shore. I'm just going to do a lap around the perimeter path to enjoy the view before I start the ride back. Whoa, okay. She just moved right into my line.
Sorry.
Not her mistake, she did not expect a cyclist today. I apologized and continued.
Bitte Vorsicht.
I'm hitting a section here that's a rough patch of solid ice. I can't grab the brakes too hard here, or the wheels will just wash out on this ice. One tiny twitch of the handlebars and I'll be down. It's almost impossible to get any traction, so I'm trying to keep the bike perfectly upright and just glide across. I'm just going to stay off the brakes until I'm back on the straight.
This side is fine. But yes, we can expect this through the whole track. Oh, finding my ways on the side. Oh.
I'm going to pull over here for a second just so you can see this view. The lake is completely still today, and the water looks like a massive sheet of glass stretching out. It's incredibly peaceful standing here, and it's easily the best spot on the entire route to just stop and take it all in. Alright, it's time to get moving again. My hands and toes are definitely starting to feel the bite now that I've stopped, so I need to get the blood flowing and start the ride back home.
Okay.
The sun is great, but at this temperature you can't stay still for long before the cold really settles in. I'm taking the same route back home now, and from this angle, you can actually see that frozen stream much better. Since I'm heading the opposite way, the light hits the ice just right, and you can really see how the flowing water just stopped in its tracks. It looks even more solid than it did on the way out.
Oh, my favorite car. My favorite car. Go with the flow. That's correct. Go with the flow. Flow का दिख जाएगा.
I'm just leaving the farm tracks behind and crossing back into the town streets. You can immediately feel the difference in the ground. It's back to that hard, gritty asphalt. And that's me back in one piece. I'm definitely ready to get inside, get some feeling back into my hands, and grab a warm drink. It was a cold one, but you really can't beat that winter sun. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Please give the video a like and leave a comment below. Share this with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you in the next one.